Boom, 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 boom. I love the AAA announcement fucking sound effect. It sounds so fucking allegedly epic, to use a word from the fucking industry. Which sounds completely dirty when I have to fucking say it in this context, but when I mean it, it's like you actually feel energy and excitement. You feel like you actually want to see what's on the screen. Fast forward a little bit. It is already 2 in the fucking afternoon, bro. I'm so sup. Looks like we just have lurkers today, not active chatters. It's 2-hour 51 display. It'll slide into gaming night, but it'll be fine. So, you have the III initiative being brought once again by all the developers. Me, I have been summoned here because of the particular developer, Clay. They have 2 things that they announced technically through this. And there's also Tiny Build, and that was them bringing up the game name. Graveyard Keeper. So I know they have the Don't Starve title, and I know they have Graveyard Keeper.
Dreamt so long of my body that I know everything about it. I've dreamt it into existence.
They say you think you're human.
I am.
Lord have mercy, a narrative video game. From the same makers of 1000X Resist and Slay the Princess. Which means it's a narrative story with multiple paths, I guess.
I'm human. In this place, where everyone takes their bodies for granted, I would never. When I meet my body, I will never part from her.
We out here making horror games out of fucking Catchpa. That's crazy. But it looks fun. It's not exactly my cup of tea, but a nigga might try it. No, not today. Yesterday. It was yesterday. I did not do it yesterday. Because my dumbass forgot. Made the whole thumbnail when Marcus told me about it, and then forgot. But the sale's still going on. The sales will be going on for 4 to 5 days. So we got some dungeon crawling going. We got a modern cave diver, muff diving the cave. And we've got goblins. Please let this be not a movement slop combat system. So the answer is kinda. It's kind of a movement slop game, but it's not. It's not True and Shine. We're halfway there. Doesn't really tell me anything else though. So assuming Alka has something to do with alchemy. I have to see more about this. I like dungeon crawlers, but I don't like them that much to blind wishlist them. First 2D quota game. So this is a 2D friend slot crafter. Okay. Lost Railway. I'd like to say that it's an Inslock, but because of the fact that it's something that probably doesn't come with Friends editions, I can't consider buying it because I want to make myself sad. Beat. I suppose this is Cairn. It's acting like it's Cairn. Correct. Exactly. Free DLC update coming summer 2026. I'm sure all those people are in love with their narrative climbing sim. But I don't like this. It's not my kind of game. I'm not a person who specializes in rage bait simulators. They're not fun to me. And now, Belmont's Curse. The look is going to take a while to get used to, because it doesn't scream Castlevania. But we have to accept that this is where we are now. You have to blame Hades. You can't blame Isaac, because Isaac might have been an originator. But Hades 2 is what the fucking normies decided to get in on roguelikes with. So Castlevania has to come back in a new form, and this is the form that it takes.
Hello, I'm Matt from Evil Empire, the studio behind Castlevania Belmont's Curse. We first worked on this beloved franchise with the Return to Castlevania DLC for Dead Cells. Since then, we've moved away from our roguelike roots and have been busy building a brand new 2D action-adventure game.
And I'm speaking for Taniguchi-san from Konami. My team worked on the Castlevania collections, as well as collabs with external studios. Evil Empire's tribute turned out so good, we really couldn't miss the chance to work with them again.
Together, we're continuing our collaboration for the 40th anniversary of the franchise. Being a French team, we were arrogant enough to set the game in France. Except for me, of course, being a humble Englishman. Now, let me set the scene. The year is 1499, and Paris has been invaded by Dracula's forces. As a Belmont, you will hunt down monsters across the city, scaling the sacred spires of Notre Dame, descending into the skull-lined catacombs, and dueling corrupted legends like Joan of Arc. Only berets and baguettes are missing, but I think you've had enough of that already.
The hon has been activated. If there are people who choose to play this game and they choose to say that it's the best thing since sliced bread and have absolutely no opinion about it, same rules as Clair Obscur. You are not allowed to make French jokes for an entire month. The entire month.
And what will become of Paris when Dracula's castle finally emerges? Well, you'll have to wait a little longer to find out.
Castlevania, Belmont's Curse.
Completely based, completely breath built.
Time to join the great galactic expansion. Of mining operations. With your efforts, we will build a profitable future. We will extend humanity's venture from one planet to another. The shared vision of Sun will change the galaxy for all. Strive to leave your mark under new stars.
Spacecraft. Yet another spacecrafting game that I don't care for. And the Rift of the Necrodancer crossover. Already knew it was coming. Brace yourself, just can't stay away. Brace yourself, games. Just can't stay the fuck away from the video game ODSTs. I knew it was coming. I'm not surprised. I'm just disappointed. Because obviously, it's going to be Undertale, and then eventually it's Deltarune, and then the Delta Slop will be all upon us. And I'm pretty sure in this case, it's both of them at the same time. No, I'm proving wrong. It's just Undertale. And this is the co-op sim thief game. So it's an immersive co-op sim Mysticus Thieves. Could be exciting. Could be fun. Will I ever get the chance to play with other people? That's the question. Ramstead.
What once was the greatest empire has been diminished by the undead. And I need your help to restore what was broken. Gather resources, rebuild the cities, and together with the human survivors, a new life can flourish. Let temples and altars help you reconnect with the gods. They need to be convinced you have what it takes to beat the fallen and restore Rome to what it once was.
So you got overworld, you got bosses, you got bullet hell. So this is new Terraria is what this is. Ramstead. Early access May 26, 2026.
3, 2,
Battle Golf.
go!
Yerp.
It's okay, it's okay. That was very... Don't do it, don't do it!
Started dancing. This one's going in.
Oh my god.
So now Super Battle Golf is coming to consoles. Another zombie game. Rail. I think we heard about it before. Didn't feel interested in it. Still not interested in it.
As you are returned to the earth, may the roots cradle your bones. The worms carry out their quiet work. We welcomed you in our midst, asked for nothing cruel, only honest work, sweat and toil. Your rewards earned. Keep digging for answers. And you will reap what you sow.
Crop. So we got ourselves another pseudo mystery game, just like Neverway. From the creator of Buckshot Roulette, another Friendship game. Machine Party. Zero interest.
It's the dance of life, full of toil and strife, where women undergo. We don't give a the gale is done, how hard the winds did blow. Come on!
And here we have another Pirate game.
How soft the breeze of the tropical seas, now the ice is far astern, and then native maids in the island glades are awaiting our return. Even now our big black eyes look out, hoping some fine day to see our baggy sails running for the gales.
Yeah, it's a builder. Windrose. Windrose. It's got the music taste. It's got the gameplay of a creative builder loop. Man, I love this. Make myself sad now. Driving a Jeep in the desert. Driving Jeeps in the desert. Oh no. It's gonna be one of these. It's gonna be another Rage Bait friend slop game like Are We There Yet? Over the hill. Sign up for the April 2024-26 playtest. You got some Preacher. Another Forbes stack. Spacecrafter.
Hey, thanks for watching the trailer for Starseeker Astroneer Expeditions. If you'd like to get your hands on it early, head on over to starseekergame.com and sign up for the beta. We also have an extended gameplay segment coming up later in the show, so be sure to stick around.
Thanks, Devolver Digital.
You've been hired to work.
So you're not the boss of me.
Yeah, I'm not listening to that.
Oh, okay.
So customers come in and then we scan their IDs. Okay, we gotta check that they are a human. Shoot her.
Shoot her?
On the thing it says she's a plumber, but she says that she's a flight attendant.
What the hell is this?
Oh, he vibing. I don't even need to check shit.
Oh.
Oh, creepy. No, thank you.
Did you see?
So we've got a friend slop game.
Oh my goodness. We let two doppelgangers.
60 seconds. Okay, you board up the doors. I'll start setting traps.
Yes, sir.
Oh my god. What the hell is that?
Your shift begins. Shift at midnight. So friend slop Nice sim. I'm super annoyed with games like that, because the problem is always the case that these situations are supposed to be more exciting than that, and people care infinitely more about playing extremely loud into monsters, and just generally not a great feel. Always felt that way, always will feel that way about Friend Swap. Don't like it. You don't like it. You don't like it a lot. And you don't like it a lot. And then, of course, finally, no matter how many times I've seen people playing versions of this on TikTok and on Twitter, finally, Dead as Disco is getting an actual release date. So now you too can beat on enemies like your Deadpool to your favorite music. Best way this game could probably be described is, imagine if you took everything from No More Heroes, but you made it into Dance Dance Revolution, but instead of it being you hitting buttons to dance, it is you hitting combos to fight as beautifully as Beautiful Joe. That's the best description I can give you. Lollipop Chainsaw and No More Heroes inside of a dancing dimension where you're fighting niggas like you are playing God Hand and Beautiful Joe. The thing that's going to be so fun about this is the fact that because this game wants to use your music as a part of it, more than likely, they've created a system where they can just generate note charts for whatever song you input. It's going to be like Genius and Shazam. I don't know how they do it. But if it's the case that you don't need to have to generate a track custom, you just put in the music and it plays it automatically, like one of those other music-based games from the last presentations, you are going to infinitely never run out of entertainment. People who are like, I don't like playing things like Slay the Spire. I don't like video games like that. I want to play things that are grand. You're going to be addicted to this video game. Because I know you motherfuckers listen to your fucking music playlists. And then I roll at Barotrauma. I don't have people to play Barotrauma with. I would be bored as hell.
In the Home and Harbor expansion, you get to build, manage, and fight for your very own outpost, your home base in the oceans of Europa. Outposts are valuable assets. Be ready to fight for them, both in single and multiplayer. Home and Harbor adds new mechanics and depth to Barotrauma. Manage and develop your outposts into industrial hubs and take part in the underwater economy. Discover a new faction in the world of Barotrauma, the Descendants. Mysterious, high-tech offspring of Europa's original settlers. With the Descendants, various new technologies are introduced into the game. Cybernetics, augmentation, energy weaponry, you name it. Home and Harbor adds more story, new missions, and deeper faction interactions to the Barotrauma campaign. Barotrauma, Home and Harbor expansion. Coming autumn 2026.
And here we have a run sim. Super kawaii. 4-player co-op chaos. Every adventure is unique, they say. See, most games are not friend swap. Friend swap requires that if the game is more fun with people than it is without, that's what quintessentially requires it to be friend swap. Of course, there are people who will play anything multiplayer like it's friend swap because they can't be bothered to, like, practice or read the tutorial. But games that give you some level of structure versus video games that give you no structure, that's usually your clear sign. This one here, it has structure. The Hellmart Shifted Midnight, that has no structure. People will be fucking around, and then it'll get immediately hard, and it's like, well, bro, wasn't that fun? Lost Castle 2, coming in June.
I'm making a game about sledding and hanging out with your friends called Sledding Game. It's pretty much exactly what it sounds
So, it's right here, clear difference. Lost Castle, direction. Sledding game, no direction. Sled with bros.
It's like you sled with friends, you can race, you can do cool tricks and stuff. There's also a bunch of other fun things to do when you're not sledding, like snowball fights. Or fishing.
Whoa! Oh my god. I hate you so much.
You can also just kind of hang around if you want. There's also some cool customization stuff. It helps with the cool factor. So yeah, that's the game I'm making, and I'm really excited to share that Sledding Game is coming to early access on April 30th. See you on the slopes real soon, people.
And you can get a day one with Game Pass.
Soon.
But yeah, that's one of the key clear differences, really, right there, with friend swap, bro. If it doesn't have direction and it's just, yeah, we're fucking around, argumentatively, the problem is that people will play it for a lark, then they're going to simply stop playing it. Because then they'll get inundated with another friend swap game, or they'll go to another friend swap game. Because the attention span and boredom are going to declare that they need to. Because when they don't get the stimuli, they're going to jump games. The way that people play when they play a match of a competitive game, and then they forfeit, and they're like, bro, I'm burnt out, I need a break. That's the mindset of the friend swap gamer. The thing that they want to engage with is not the thing that they're being allowed to interact with. Since they're not interfacing with the friend swap that's inside of the video game, it is the case that they're going to just simply move to another one, or they're going to quit entirely, and they're going to fuck off and go do something. It's not the same thing as wanting to be alone, and wanting to have your own personal time to enjoy a single-player game, or something of some equivalent grand strategy. It's the fact that the loop incessantly requires that all of the things that are being played, for all the friend swap games we've so far seen, if it's not the creatures, and it's not the encounters, and it's not the engagement, and it's not the chaos that you're playing for, it's the fact that you're having fun doing it with your friends. If you need the people there, it's going to increase the likelihood that if you get a bad situation, and it ends up going really poorly for you, it's going to encourage you to move to play something else. And if you bounce between all four of those games like that, in a 3-hour time space, it's saying that you're not really having fun playing the game, right? Because if you're constantly changing game, you're not really playing it. Even if you have 300 hours of playing the video game, it's because you've built up 300 hours from various months of separated game sessions where you keep jumping from game to 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 game. You never really learn the system, you never really learn the rules, you just learn ways so that you can be able to, like, you know, glitch and blah blah blah. That's friend swap. I personally don't enjoy friend swap because of that factor. Friend swap gamers are iPad babies? I wouldn't say that. You want to see a real iPad gamer, you want to be able to find them on the Cozy Games. The Skybound Venture, another creative SMP. Gardens. Sprucing up the garden. Solar Punk. So here's a good example of what people would try to call friend swap, but is just basically a SMP. If you have creation versus survival, a creative survival multiplayer is going to focus more on you building things with your friends and expansion and appearance and appeal and aesthetic versus something like a true survival challenge. Because in a survival challenge like V Rising, or let's use Grounded 1 and 2, with full yoke editions, it is possible for friend slop gamers to have fun in those environments because they're bouncing off of each other as mental springboards, and they're bouncing off the game environment as the content. Because they bring their personalities to the gameplay, which enhances the gameplay. But if there's not enough content, it's something like a creative SMP versus a real survival SMP, then you're going to have them switching games because they say, bro, I'm bored. And this one I already know about. This is the Warhammer Auto Battle Survivor. Finally, Warhammer Survivors in a video game.
It's calling a war. The Homies have smashed their way onto our turf. It looks like they brought some proper snazzy kits to the fight. Some fight proper sneaky. The big boss of the Blue Kits is here with his claws, but that's nothing on our power claws. Boy, look at this one. He thinks he's dead hard in his battle wagon, but wait till the boys crack him open. Oh look, it's old Bad Eye, but ain't nobody meaner than Orcs. Nah, not them. Yeah, him. The biggest, meanest, gas cool man, the rock thracker, prophet of Gork and Mork. Wah!
They got your vampire survivors inside your Warhammer, boys, and they're voiced by the orcs.
Let's have it!
There are going to be a lot of people who are going to have fun with that. Everwind. Got it looking like Minecraft. Everwind. Announced 3 features and niggas out. Crazy.
Planet, a solitary creature faces the...
And this is Away Team, which is going to be a lot easier for some people who have never played Oxygen Not Included to get into. Clay's done it again!
The ultimate test of survival. A duplicate. An industrious creature built to survive the harshest of environments. It must unlock the secrets of this strange world. Learn to coax oxygen from crystal, raise crops from seed, generate light from goo. The path is fraught with peril. Insufficient water? Famine. Inadequate fuel? Lights out. An unexpected chemical reaction. The burden of existence is heavy, but this creature does not have to walk alone. At last, our survivor has found a friend. The duplicate now belongs to a team.
Even the crows refuse to feast on these bodies. This carnage reeks of something foul. Something inhuman.
Sir, we have another hardcore combat sim in the tune of Mortal Sin.
War takes its toll on everyone. What horror has been unleashed on these lands?
The French people!
Some escape in daydreaming, some in madness. What madness has taken hold here?
Yes, I do believe this is the Napoleon Souls-like. You can just say Dark Souls with French people. There was another one on the stream not too long ago.
Am I dreaming this hellish nightmare?
Brother Mortis. That's fun. Carl, French people scare me. Then stop being scared. Ah, somebody got juked. Long Gone. Another zombie game. Looks fun, but also looks complex. Released in 2027. And you can pet your cat. Very important that they show that you can pet the cat. Animo? No, I don't think this is Animo. But it is a type of creature game. Unless, of course, I'm wrong. No, it's Temtem. So rather than Pokemon and Digimon, it is actually a combination of Neopets. And of course, it's a creative sim. Temtem Pioneers. Now on Kickstarter, wishlist on the Steam. Another creative sim that looks fun, but probably you never get the chance to play it. Brotato? Dinosaur with Laser. Rotato Primal Dread. New DLC coming 2026. And then Pseudo Cowboys. Far Far West. The looter shooter that is kind of like Borderlands, but it's not. Borderlands but good, question mark. Technically anything that has that level of design can be good. It's just a simple question of how much complex is it? Does it require you putting builds together, or does it actually just require you picking up loot and shooting guns? In this case, it's a horde shooter. It's up to a 4-man, friend slop-like horde shooter. There are lots of them showing up on the marketplace. This one is Western themed. Early access, 28th of April. More than likely, for that one, you're going to want to buy it early. You're going to want to buy that one early because early access means that all the, quote, fun of the glitches that people are going to abuse for gameplay is going to be available then. And then when the game becomes fully released and it becomes fully mastered, you're going to be looking at a situation similar to Raven's Watch. So Raven's Watch in early access, as they moved closer and closer towards full release, was a really fun experience. Now that it's fully out, every single person playing it is dog water. Every single person playing it is dog water. The only way to best be able to get the situation going is to get people that you know into the matchmaking, because the people in the matchmaking are just going to completely bolster and bluster every single thing about it that you could do. Just unbelievably so.
Wake up, Keeper. Don't make me bite you.
Ah, they have voice acting now.
I may be a skull, but I bet we'll become best friends.
Now we just get a feel for the new system that they'll have for Graveyard Keeper 2.
What are you looking at? Grab him.
So if you've already played Gravekeeper 1, you already know how Gravekeeper 2 is about to go. But they have more things! So now, you have to not only upkeep the graveyard, and also eventually master what was DLC in the first game, something that now becomes a part of the core loop in the second game from Lazy Bear Games, with Tiny Build. You get to actually command a zombie army against outward zombie armies, as you now have the ability to work with the town. You're the Grand Inquisitor, baby! Grand Inquisitor, baby! Tell people what to do! And then drink zombie wine! And here we probably have another friend swap game.
We have an experimental reactor, and I really do think the whole thing might implode. And that's where you come in. don't want you to get overexcited, but there are rifts that cut through time itself. Stabilize one of those, and you could pop back to your own time. And while helping yourselves, you could perhaps fix a few teensy little problems we need to.
We were here tomorrow. They got a demo out on Steam. Not sure if this is one that I'd like. It looks like it's 2-man, but it also does wibbly wobbly timey wimey shit. So it's probably 1 part puzzle, 1 part teamwork, and then 1 part thinking with future sense. Have to see how it plays before I would want to buy it myself. And now, for people who were bored because, oh, this game got boring, because they picked it up and then they forgot about it with fucking Clover Pit, the DLC update is here, and it's free! So, they have 30 fusion charms. They're adding 11 extra charms. They have 4 new symbol modifiers. They've got 7 new memory cards to modify your run. And there is an extra secret finale that you have to figure out how to get to, that I'm certain people have already spoiled. Unholy Fusion DLC, available now, for free. The update, not the game. We've got pseudo upbeat, what I'm assuming is Slavic pop German music. We're gonna get wacky with this one.
Pretty neat, huh? Top tier technology.
The Lift. Just for music alone, this has my interest. But 2027, bro. Put out a demo. Clap, 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 clap. And here, from the creators of Crosscode, comes an adventure run game in the bread and butter of Hades. Because every single goddamn run-based sim has to be Hades! Ah! Hate it! Alabaster Dawn, a world-reviving action RPG that plays way too much like fucking Hades. Early access launch of May 7th, so you don't gotta wait long. Update for Risk of Rain. Yep. So now you got more DLC for the game that allegedly has become better. Oh, it's not free? It's $3? That's crazy. Well, on the right side, it's $3. Unfortunately, it's $3. It's $3. It's $3. It's $3. Some eponymous her. They're getting called acolytes. Hallowed is the balance of death. Hallowed concepts, heed the concepts, wishless now. So introduction of a new character to the lore of the world, I guess?
Hey there! I know what you're thinking. You're probably wondering, how did this handsome fellow end up in such an awkward situation? Well, to understand, I think we need to rewind a bit. It all started when my best buddies and I heard about this very ancient place. Let's go, guys! Well, don't mind me. It smells of gold here.
Some gold here, guys.
We were peacefully making our way through when everything went completely off the rails. Ah, you filthy beast! No, watch out! Suddenly, just when I thought I was safe... It's a real shame I ended up in this situation, because trust me, the treasure's right behind that door. And now you are the one that has to go get it. And don't forget, every step forward, you're already too deep to quit.
And so, another friend slop game. This one, treasure diving. Comes from the creators of Guilty of Sock over at Demon Jacks. So, it's not like Muppets is bad. It's just friend slop. And this should be Neverway, I think. Might not be. It might be a different game. No, it's not. It's Neverway. For those that are in love with playing Nightmare, like with Nightmare Sim RPGs, that really, really, really like Stardew Valley, here's a game for you! Yes, baby. Because you won't tell me what the surprise is. And you keep saying I have to have time for the surprise. No. Because I won't remember. I won't remember. I'll be under stress. The stress of dealing with my mother. Don't even know her last time. Yes. I know, baby. Yes. You're so coy. Because you were playing coy right until you had to tell me because I was confused. No, you're a butthead. Now, woman, I'm on the camera. That's not fair. No, they can't hear you. They can hear me. I love you. I will hang up on you. I will hang up on you. I love you too. I'll torture you later. I'll torture you later. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That was the woman. I'm going to do things to her. None of these are sexy things. It is the I am husbandly obligated to do these things to her. She says hi, chat. So, from the Pixar creator of Celeste, you will get the ability to do a lot of things, which does include making friends and probably also getting partners. And now they have the prologue out. So now you can get a feel if you actually like the game or if you want to play it at all. Ah, yes. The typing of the dead, but make it competitive.
Dear contestants, prepare yourselves for the ultimate trial in final sentence.
Where's the question mark? Sir, put that gun down! We good, we good, we good. Oh my god! Alright, here we go, 10 seconds. Okay, okay, we good. There are people dying before me? What? That was a comma!
The round begins. 3, 2, 1.
So this right here, this is the meeting place between dogshit Slavjank, friend slop, and streamer ragebait designed to get clips and kicks. If you have the ability to type, you can play this game. If you don't have the ability to type, you're going to lose a lot at this game. And if you get a bunch of broadcasters, a bunch of streamers, and a bunch of other people in a room to play this video game with little to no setup and with little to no conversation, crazy and interesting things will happen that assumptively people should clip. This is the kind of game that everybody should play, but unfortunately, the only people who will be playing this are the annoying people who we all know will play this game. And then everybody and their mother and brother are going to completely ruin this game's appeal. And then they're going to move on to the next one. The culture vultures. They're coming. The culture vultures, hungry for clips, are coming. Because I play way too much Don't Starve, I know what that is.
World premiere.
You've seen Don't Starve. You've seen Don't Starve together. Now see Don't Starve somewhere else. Multi-dimensional teleportation and multi-tier platforming. And it's already multiplayer. They got mechanical bunnies, bro. They got carnivorous plants that are using the eye plant skin, bro. They got gargoyles, bro. Don't starve elsewhere. That's crazy. And so, coming a new Don't Starve game that's probably more designed in short-paced runs rather than long grand strategy campaign runs with progression and world and story and lore. That probably also has gameplay, world, story, and lore. Because this should be the third official game in this timeline of Don't Starve, which means there should be a little banner on the bottom of the screen. There's a little banner every time you load up the game, where it says this is a video game of particulate magic, horror, and wonder from the video game series number 1, number 2, and number 3. Don't Starve is 1. Don't Starve Together is 2. This, if it is the proper third title, should be 3. Now, in terms of the showcase, that's the end of the showcase. But there are more things in the post-show that they put together for all of the video games in general. I'm only interested in the ones that I'm interested in. So, I'm skipping Shift at Midnight. I'm certain they had ideas for this video game being fun and cool, but I really don't fucking care. I really seriously don't fucking care. Then, they have a segment for Castlevania, and I want to see that.
Hi everyone, thank you for watching the Triple I Initiative. I'm Matt from Evil Empire, and with me I have some of the team from Castlevania Belmont's Curse. Here I have Din, art director of the game, and Sandro, lead level designer. And to my right we have the big boss from Konami, Taniguchi-san, producer of Castlevania Belmont's Curse. So Sandro, we're a French studio working with a Japan-based company. What does that look like for development, and do you have any cooler anecdotes that you'd like to share?
It looks like Twin Star had a baby with the best of Japanese flair, and they said, we're going to put so much French shit in this, these people are going to hate our French beignets.
Well, obviously I would say the biggest thing is the time zone difference between France and Japan.
And the mustache difference. Check out the fucking honkers on these bros! He's got the full handlebar.
What does that look like for development, and do you have any cooler anecdotes that you'd like to share?
Well, obviously...
He's got the full French split lip with the pronounced center, and he's got the full, I am bored, and I have a 5 o'clock chateau, and I want to go to the cafe. You can't get more French than this, nigga. You can't get more French than this.
I would say the biggest thing is the time zone difference between France and Japan. It often meant a lot of early meeting for us and late night evening for our colleague. Fortunately, they never held a grudge against us, and whenever they came to see us, they brought a lot of snack and goodies, which was like a second Christmas for the team. Speaking about food, they were always super curious to try weirdest and like heaviest French food, which was also crazy. But more seriously, I would say that adjusting the processes of both teams was the biggest thing. We all have our respective background as companies. Evil Empire being an indie and IVOPS company, and Konami having been here forever and having stronger processes. It meant like learning how to adjust the way we work together, but I think in the end it made the project stronger as a whole.
And Din, why did we choose France and specifically Paris as a setting? Was it really out of national pride, as I joked in the trailer?
No, not at all. No, in reality, we wanted it to take place in Venice and working around the theme of the Venice Carnival. After a moment, we thought it will be maybe too caricatural. Maybe we wouldn't do it well. So someone had the great idea to do it in Paris.
And because you did this, there's a lot of people who are going to reach writing shitposts where it's like, oh, look, it's going to require the Belmont family to purge the menace of the religion that cannot be named, that is the religion of peace, from the country. Emmanuel Macron, eat your fucking heart out, Safaktuta. Racism! Racism is coming! And the entire internet is behind it! Because it's a shitpost.
It totally makes sense because Paris is a natural theater for a lot of Gothic architecture, which fits great with the Castlevania universe.
You know, if they don't burn down Notre Dame first.
And to have this opposition between the dark castle of Dracula and the Notre Dame, it's a great theme. But maybe yes, there is also some of national pride in it.
Yes! More French developers taking in pride. That's right! Take your place with Twin Star and Sandfall Interactive. Everybody's eating French beignets. Everybody's eating French beignets.
So Sandro, Din, from a level design and art perspective, how did you turn Paris into this 2D action-adventure world?
Well, obviously, there was a huge focus on level design, without forgetting art, of course. But we wanted to build the world in a way that made you feel that you were exploring a city. So it meant taking extra care on the way we created our exterior spaces, leveraging the verticality of the city, like exploring from the below the streets to the rooftops, making sure you can explore inside or outside spaces. We wanted the game to feel modern, but also like have the intricateness of the action-adventure genre at the heart.
Because Paris is like really a good natural scene, natural theater for a story like Castlevania to take place, because of the medieval history, because of the architecture, because of all the urban myth. And yeah, we have to adapt to the level design, but it was also the opportunity to make all this Gothic environment bigger than life. Bigger than life, exactly. Thank you. So we get inspired by.
I mean, we know usually base will say larger than life, but hey, we like to be good. We like to be good because you can hear the exceeding tough the feeling stung.
All that we have, all the history, and just push the button, and make it bigger, more fantastic, more scary, more of a Castlevania-esque.
Yeah,
city.
I think it really matches what Castlevania is about, like this sort of over-the-top. Wanted to player to explore a lot of vertical spaces, so it means also exaggerating them. Being able to go from the bottom of the streets to the rooftops, crafting a lot of inside and exterior space. There is actually a really rich history in Paris with the catacombs, with tons of places that we draw inspiration from and allow us to have this intricate, deep layered level design that are like standout things in the 2D action adventure droids. Like
the part that I find interesting here is the way that they navigate this conversation with the examples of verticality and horizontality within the space of the game dimension. Clearly, it's going to be more in the tone of blasphemous. Shout out to my Spaniard niggas. It's going to be more in the terms of blasphemous. But look
so
here,
also
when it comes to these exploration points here, you clearly have motion with scaling and with swings.
Being able to go from the bottom of the street
to also have the ability to not only swing onto enemies, but also use this grapple technique, whatever the fuck it is, to attach to them.
Rooftops.
And you're able to use them with Metroid logic. Lord knows I can't remember the name of most creatures in Metroid. But in the original Metroid, namely the 2D, Zero Mission, and Super Metroid, the little Terranian creatures that would hover in vertical spaces that required you to move back and forth and use them as platforms. Rather than having the whole, I don't have a system on how to make a grappling hook, so we're going to give you the ability to freeze an object in place. They have the ability, you are grabbing onto people and you are using them as bounce pads. The way that you probably are familiar with using in Hollow Knight and in Silksong. And you are beating the ass of these people. You are beating their ass so that they cannot be able to fight against you. So you want to be able to climb and use them probably as a way to get to secret zones and use them as a way to get to better platforming sections, or enter into a flow state where you're grappling onto the enemy and then you're able to recover if you're not able to bounce off them to get to a higher position, to get onto the actual vertical platforms and continue scaling up that way. Maybe it's necessary for some jump puzzles. Maybe it's actually necessary for level progression. But they make it very clear that it's not like, oh, you can only bounce on this enemy once and then you have to land on the ground. No, you can beat that ass in the air.
Crafting a lot of inside and exterior space. There is actually a really rich history in Paris with the catacombs, with tons of places that we draw inspiration from and allow us to have this intricate, deep, layered level design that are...
It's kind of resemblant of the DS Castlevania titles, especially Portrait of Ruin, Aria of Sorrows, and the one that Sono Cruz was in. Because it's just... Mwah. That was the best kind of game design, because it used the verticality of the dual screen technology to come up with interesting ways to interact with the gameplay. But then when it got into the PS2 action-adventure era with Lord of Shadows, and then whatever the fuck you want to call the last few years of games following in that footstep, Castlevania itself in true form ended up falling to a little bit of the stuff that was actually showing up in things like Prince of Persia, the Rogue, the one with the black guy, where it wanted to be a run-based sim. And so people were taking the designs of it, and they were adding a lot more environmental traps, but not a lot of actual interesting phantasmagoria of level design and of monster design, because you weren't really all that focused on fighting monsters outside of a final boss, and then that's like how the run begins and ends, which again is more of the Hades-like situation. In wanting to create verticality and wanting to make sure you have utilization of some very iconic pieces, especially, say, the Belmont Vampire Killer Whip, assuming that it makes an appearance here and it's not just a regular whip that's being used to vault on objects. You really want to be able to show off the entire arsenal that the game has to offer, and you want to show off all of the tricks that the game has to offer, which I really appreciate them putting in there, because only French niggas can. Only French niggas do. That's what French niggas do.
Like, stand out things in the 2D action-adventure droids, like what we really wanted to focus on to nail the experience.
And Din, what was Motion Twin's role in development?
Without Motion Twin, there wouldn't be any Dead Cells and no DLC Return to Castlevania, and of course, no Belmont's Curse, developed by Evil Empire and Konami. And yeah, Motion Twin was like kind of our big brother, which is sometimes nice and sometimes they lock us in the trunk of the car. So they were picky, but they were the one To who we ask a question, crucial question when we have doubt about direction, gameplay, or art. So
that's right. So if you're one of those people that said, I can't play Dead Cells, I don't like playing those kinds of games, suck my cock! You're why you're getting this game.
So they helped us guide our decision through the development of the game.
And Taniguchi-san, can you tell us more about which entries in the Castlevania series had the most influence on Belmont's Curse?
そうですね。一番影響を受けているのは悪魔城伝説です。で、ストーリーがそのようになってるっていうところからもお分かりいただけるのかなと思います。あとは今回の特徴がもう無知っていうところもあって、その当時のいくつかのタイトルの影響も受けてます。最後に、やっぱりもう探索型を採用したっていうところもあって、月下の野草曲シンフォニー・オブ・ザ・ナイトの影響も強く受けてます。
Well, obviously, looking at the game title, we had a lot of inspiration from both Dracula's Curse and Curse of the Darkness or Belmont's Curse story. Gameplay-wise, I would say Super Castlevania 4 for the whip action, but
yes, sir.
We definitely wanted to make it less wiggly and more modern, make it really impactful for our game experience. And of course, I couldn't avoid talking about Symphony of the Night, like it was such a genre-defining masterpiece.
I mean, you can't really get away from it because it's now the DNA of the genre. Trying to get away from it is resisting the truth that is the soul of Metroid and Castlevania fused together, creating the immersion that allows people to lose themselves in the majority of the gameplay designs that offer that experience. It's why the movement has to work. It's why the scaling has to work. It's why the bouncing on that shit and whacking that ass crazy style has to work. If none of that happens, with all the technology that has been made to improve the ability for the genre to exist in that way, you are doing yourself a disservice. Because Blasphemous shouldn't be the game that ends up being the titular example of a Metroidvania. It should be something that is in the vein of Castlevania. Even though Metroid in itself becoming a sci-fi Castlevania is what it is, you can't fuck this up. You can't fuck it up. Because right now, the Castlevania franchise is dormant. We don't talk about the Netflix shows. It's fucking dormant, and it doesn't have anything to go off of. So it needs a new sensational video game.
We don't want to compare to it, but it's inspired a lot of the game structure.
And Taniguchi-san, how do you feel now you're about to resurrect Castlevania and Dracula himself?
やっと新作をお届けできるっていうことでめちゃくちゃ嬉しいですし、めちゃくちゃ興奮してます。で、それと同じぐらいプレッシャーももうすごい感じてはいるんですけど、プロジェクトの発表させていただいてから皆様の反響がもうすごくて、それを見てますます頑張らなきゃっていう気持ちになりました。で、この気持ちっていうのは僕だけじゃなくてチームのメンバーの方皆さんそうなんじゃないかなと思ってます。
Yeah, resurrecting Dracula is one of the most important part of the game, and we wanted to put every effort that we could into this crucial moment of the story. People know that it will happen, but we had to find a way to make it unique in our own way, and to still give the player something unexpected. For the resurrecting of the game, it was a great honor, but also a lot of anxiety because we know that it was highly anticipated. Yeah, seeing the first reaction of the reveal, we were very happy to see the real emotion of the people who discovered that Castlevania is back, and it was great.
Our last question is, considering the history of Evil Empire with roguelikes, will Castlevania Belmont's Curse be a roguelike? No, it won't. Thanks for watching the show. Stay with us, we've got more to come, and we can't wait to show you more of Castlevania Belmont's Curse.
Anything else in the show? We've got Breakdown for Dennis Disco.
Our games. We are joined by Adam Gershwitz, the COO.
And I'm James Karras, the head of development.
Yes, thank you both so much for being here. I learned about this game last year at Gamescom, and I could not get enough. All I wanted to do was find little pockets to come to Dead as Disco to try to beat those bosses, because it is absolutely one of those games where it's like, one more try, one more try, one more try. I could not get enough. So please, for those that don't know what Dead as Disco is, please just tell us a little bit about it.
Yeah, so Dead as Disco is basically martial arts meets music video, where every punch and kick and combo seamlessly syncs up to the song that's playing. And so it's like you can make your own music video. It's like acting out your own movie scene where the music's playing in the background and everything's synced up to it.
Yeah, it's not just a rhythm game. It's a beat 'em up. It's music videos. We really just think about it as what would happen if you had a TikTok dance video, but it's
exactly.
But it's a video game, right? And we can totally recreate that experience.
Yeah, it is crazy how the music and the combat syncs up so well. Obviously, there's a ton of different musical genres that we'll go into in a little bit, but just kind of walk us through how the music and the combat sync up in each of these levels, because it feels like it just like shouldn't happen. I'm like, how am I always on the beat here? How does this work?
Yeah, it's really important to note. As I said before, we're not just a rhythm game. We're a music game, right? So a lot of rhythm games, you're like on the beat, boom, 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 boom.
Yeah.
But we're about the experience, right? Like music videos are a fever dream.
That's a bit of a misnomer there. The real part about a music game and about a rhythm game that matters is that you want the music to never interfere with your ability to play the video game. You don't want the video game to interfere with your ability to experience the flow of the music, and you do not want the flow state of the music to be discorporeal and have a ludonarrative dissonance to the rest of what the experience is supposed to be incorporating. For a good example of this, it is the difference of what I'm experiencing and experienced playing Unbeatable versus what I was experiencing and what I enjoy about the music of Jason Lindelof for Helix 1 and Helix 2. The fact that progressive rock is the background of Helix does not undercut the pseudo psychedelic acid fever dream that is the lore and the compounding world explanation for what's going on. But if you vibe a story and you pay attention, you're going to find yourself enjoying every single bit of the experience as it's happening, and you're going to understand that the narrative background behind why characters have the songs they have as their leitmotif. However, in the case of Unbeatable, it's trying so hard to hit a punk aesthetic that it ends up troon-shining all over it. Mainly not because the musician is transgender, but because they are trying to plan for an experience that is not actually a part of the experience the player should be expected to have. You're trying to turn what effectively is a campaign story video game into a music video. And then you're forcing RPG elements into that gameplay loop. That has no business being there. If it's a game about rhythm, let it be a game about rhythm and finding where the rhythm games are. Because there's essentially a WarioWare pseudo-video game with various forms of mini-games that tie together the rhythmic sections and the breakdown of the world. With beat-em-ups that want to use this musical aesthetic. Another one is the Afterbody video game that I can't remember the name of, but everybody knows what it is because it uses the clip Afterbody by so many people, showing them playing the game with it. It's another rhythm game that wants you to basically play like Osu. The problem with both of these is that the emphasis is on the synchronization of the music. It's on the synchronization of the music, while also enjoying the aesthetics of how they are balancing that appeal. Osu's entire appeal is that you clicking and following along with the beat pattern on the note chart is supposed to put you and your hand through a rigorous experience. Whereas with Unbeatable, you're expected to play along with the WarioWare video game and take it. Meanwhile, in the JRPG experience, it's not asking you to do any of that shit with the rhythm game. If it has such a feature that it was like, press this button to get an extra input, then that would be the case, but it's not. Because in that game's case, it wants to use the aesthetic of claymation and bizarre designs and the acid wash experience of progressive music as a way to lull you into the world that it's a part of. It never asks you to do extra shit of that design. Compared to the flow state of gameplay loops, like that of Parry Slop, but I'm going to call timed hits. Mario & Luigi, Superstar Saga, Nostalgia, Magna Carta, obviously Expedition 33. These video games put you in the driver's seat to experience this. And Mother 3 was a misnomer, because they didn't do that in the other Mother games. Mother 3 did that as something that was special to how it played on the console, because the handheld console for the GBA needed you to be able to feel the rhythm in the original cart. If you emulate the experience, you'll have a harder time with it, because you won't be able to notice and hear it based on the sound chip of the system if your shit does not click as well as you should. But that's besides the point of what I'm saying. You could beat Mother 3 without using that feature. In these games, I'm talking about it's a part of the core experience. You cannot avoid doing it. That feature of the time hits doesn't make you have to look at it like it's a fucking moving cinegraphic. Because the closest you can get to that does that, that's Kingdom Hearts. Kingdom Hearts is less about rhythm timing, and it's more about pay attention to when it's time to press X, and then when it's time to press Y. In the case of Dead as Disco, they're talking about having you press these buttons similar to Kingdom Hearts. And they want it to feel cinematic, while at the same time you're paying attention to 50 billion things on screen. So, where I described the gameplay of how its appeal is meant to look aesthetically, the actual gameplay loop that they're going for here is Batman Arkham. They're going for Batman Arkham Combat, but they want you actually listening to cues in the music while mentally trying to map out all the button interactions that are happening on the camera. That's a lot of shit that you're asking people to pay attention to. And if you're trying to make it more like it's a music video instead of making it a combat rhythm game, you're going to have some problems. But again, of course, it's a single-player game. I can play it how I want. Holistic game design aside, this can be a little bit of a problem, because it means people go in with an expectation of what the game should be versus what the developer said it was, versus what the developer actually put in the game, versus what the game is telling you it wants to be.
You're in one location, then another, crazy things are happening, and we want each one of our idols. So just to give you a little backstory, right?
Yeah.
So the band Dead as Disco, at its height 10 years ago, their drummer and kind of heart and soul, Charlie Disco, dead.
Oh, shit.
No one knows why.
It's always the drummer.
Right? Always the drummer. Always the drummer. Here we are 10 years later. There's a reunion concert festival going on, and Charlie's back. One night only for his revenge, reunion, redemption, you don't know, right? And so the way this all works is Charlie is basically busting into all of his former bandmates' concerts. They're all idols in their own right. They all have their own music genres. They all have their own style. And each one of their levels is like this music video experience, this fever dream.
So when I said it was like No More Heroes, Negro Thomas! Negro Thomas! I'm never wrong. Negro Thomas! I fucking hate it. Negro Thomas! I fucking curse. Negro Thomas! So, here's the point of why I just yapped the way that I just did. If the game wants you to pay attention to these button presses and these impacts, you have to decide which one do you want to be. Do you want to be a quirky music video game, or do you want to be Hi-Fi Rush? If you want to be Hi-Fi Rush, you have to make the combat good. You cannot just make it, I'm fucking off, and I'm just playing this game for the TikTok reactions. The same way people were using haste in their AI slop for their reactions. Because presenting the game as this slop fest is a lot different than playing this as the experience that you've actually built it to be. So if you want to hit the blood of No More Heroes and Lollipop Chainsaw, you have to make it clear that's what the game is. If you treat this like, oh, it's an arcade experience, you don't have to actually understand how to play the video game, you just put in your music playlist and you play this game the same way that you go through playing Slay the Spire, there are going to be people who are going to love this game, and then there are going to be people who hate this game. You don't want them to have that backwards reaction. You do not want them to bounce off that shit this hard.
Experience that culminates in an awesome boss battle, right? And so we design the music first before we even design the level.
That's
right?
what I was gonna ask about
because you
this.
want to build it that way, and then we go back and forth.
So the music should inform the design of the level and the combat informs the formulation of the note chart and the combat. And then everything else outside of that is what it is. Campaign is campaign, and you cannot change the music of campaign. So, there's your separation. Do you want this game to have the appeal that it is Slay the Spire, but music, and people can friend slop their way through it with various different genres of somebody playing the nigga song in the middle of the gameplay? Or do you want people to understand that the campaign is the campaign and the music is the best part, and then they get the permission to friend slop their way through it? Which one is it more important? If you don't show people which one is more important, they're going to force whatever the culture decides. And right now, what that is that people are making this game look like it's goofy. It's all right to be goofy, but if they only make it about the appeal of what they want it to be, it's never going to grow out of it.
To really tie in the experience.
How is that process working with the musicians and kind of the level and combat designers? Like, what can you tell us more about that kind of collaboration?
Yeah, absolutely. And it's one of the most fun parts of the job, actually. So on the music side, we work with our internal team that builds a lot of the songs, but we also work with folks outside of our team that are part of the music industry, real musicians to help us make this song, right? We have someone that actually works in K-pop doing the vocals for a K-pop song. We have a guitarist that's currently touring with Baby Metal that's doing a bunch of guitar stuff for us. So it's really, really cool. And there's a lot of back and forth where we set the song first and we start to feel out the level with it. And then we're playing off of that. We find moments in the music that we want to craft really cool parts of the level to. And then as we do that, it's like, oh, can we, push and pull the music a little bit, heighten this moment, make sure this feels good. And we're able to do that. We have a really, a global team. So we all work together, make that happen. It's a really fun process.
Yeah. Is there ever like issues with the music or the combat where it's like, oh, we can't really like change because it'll change kind of the whole.
We can't change the combat because it'll change the flow of the experience that we planned in this music video, but the music video needs us to change these things in the combat so that one flows better than the other, and now they're at a clash. Exactly what I just fucking described. Tell it, boss man!
Vibe of the song, like, do you get into issues where it's like, all right, the whole vibe of the level is changing and you kind of have to pivot, or like how much leeway is there with kind of the changing of the music?
Yeah, it's a great question. I think as part of what we're building with the music video is it gives us so much freedom to just make an awesome experience that there's not too many times that we feel blocked in or we can't work with that, right? It's more about like, how do we take this cool moment and then visually reflect that in what's going on in the level. And, to your earlier question, part of the way the combat just works is it uses free flow. So, when Gersh is talking about, it's not just a rhythm game, you have to press the music. You press whenever, and Charlie Disco makes sure to attack on the beat, right? He makes sure to attack to the music. And that allows us a lot of freedom, not only to...
So basically, you have an algorithm or you have a process where you are able to make it so that it's not that much of a, oh no, I can't see the input and I have no idea what to press and I took free hits against myself because I literally cannot see with this input coming.
Do really cool, fun stuff in the levels, but just make the player feel like a badass.
Yeah.
And then obviously, if you hit on the beat, crazy stuff happens, right? That's when you get the over-the-top finishers, the over-the-top counters, the score goes absolutely wild. We actually have crowds in a lot of the scenes because these are concerts, and they will react to you doing well, right?
Cool, yes. I definitely, because it is so, like, pretty challenging, I was definitely just kind of mashing it out at some points because I started to panic. Those ranged enemies I'm trying to dodge away from. You got enemies with shields. You got enemies coming in and swarming you. So I do like that if you keep your composure, you are rewarded for it in the combat. That's really awesome.
Exactly, but at a base level, everyone should feel awesome playing
Yeah.
it. So
Yeah.
you can come in our game.
I mean, that's argumentative. Everyone can feel awesome playing it. Everyone has the equal opportunity to play awesome playing it. Difference. You must earn the button presses. They are not given to you. You must earn them, young Padawan. If it's the case that anybody can do this, and thus anybody can be able to play, and anybody can be able to look godlike, but they don't actually have to actually be good to be godlike, then it's completely boring. You have to earn the gameplay. Ugh. Yes, that is correct. So, they have to show the incoming audience that's going to be looking at this video game for Dead as Disco. Does Dead as Disco want to be a Perry Slop music gen sim for people to use as background footage, or do they want this game to be real character action?
You can mash around and still feel really, really good.
Absolutely.
And that's one of the greatest things about the tools and the technology we built is this will work with literally any song. And we give players the tool set with My Music to kind of pull any music in their music library right into the game, sync it up, write it up, and then make whatever they want with it.
How does that work with the combat? Because we were talking about, kind of the back and forth with the musicians.
Yeah.
But if somebody is just putting in their own song, how does that work with just the flow of combat and everything? Like, really, any song will work here?
Yeah, you can do anything. And a goal for us was making sure that someone with no musical background can get a song in and play and feel really good about it. So the two things you need, you just put your song in My Music and you specify the beats per minute, which is really easy to find for any song. So once you have that, the game just knows, okay, here's the beats per minute. We're going to line things up. The combat's going to work because we're going to scale the animations and do everything that we need to do under the hood to make that feel good. And then for people that really want to start customizing it, we have what we call the advanced song editor that you can dive into. You can trim the song. You can change exactly what the beats per minute are at different points. You can put in your own, and it's a tool that we're going to keep building over time. But yeah, you can.
So they have a custom song augmenter. You have the ability to go to the absolute start and the absolute end of the song. You can calibrate the song for its beats per minute. You can do a beat offset for the beats. You can be able to use the metronome to time the actual syncopation for the music. And then everything else gets done in the background without you needing to know anything about music theory. That is a very insane tool to have, but this is exactly what I thought it was. So, it is the case that when you want to put your music in the game, you can simply drag and drop and say, hey, this song has a BPM of XYZ, and it's going to put in the tempo based on that input, and that's how you get the music for the combat. So it, yes, it does automatically put together the step chart, which then becomes the button presses for the gameplay. And then somebody who wants to put in some custom music, like, the Ho Squad song, they can put that song in, and it'll flow state fine. But it's on you to make it work right. So every single custom experience that people have been seeing That's going to come down to how much you really, 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 really like the experience.
Just drop it in and have it work. Or you could start customizing it and doing your own cool things.
Very cool. Can you tell us about kind of the different idols and kind of the structure of a level culminating with the boss fight?
Yeah, so I think one of the ones that we're interested in showing, so a lot of people have seen Hemlock, right? You know, punk rocker, skull in a jar, giant mohawk.
Yeah.
But one of the idols that I'm most excited about is Aurora, right? Who's our K-pop idol.
Yes.
Once again, voiced by a former K-pop trainee and musician. And her level is that really fever dream, right? So like, she's all about becoming greater and more, right? So her whole level is this kind of galactic journey, right? You start out in this planetarium, you go out into like this new world, you go to the flip side, the dark side, and you end up fighting her literally on like the Rings of Jupiter.
Yeah, the Rings of Jupiter.
But
I'm just getting flashbacks of fucking DJ Supernova for our lovely video game that we played because Exo Crusher gave it to me to play with No More Straight Roads. It wants to be character action, it wants to be parry, it wants to be reactive and proactive, but it also wants to be in a flow state. All of these things at once kind of require a really good respect of your attitude and of your attention span. And I feel like the things that they're trying to promise you, they're not going to be able to properly deliver on because they're not necessarily creating something that is completely different. They're iterating on a generative song design similar to Sumo and similar to the lyric recognition of Shazam and Genius. But they're really in love with the culture. They're really in love with the pop culture side that this video game is going to bring out in people. Not the character action side. That's a little depressing.
she is huge, right? And so this music experience is just phenomenal, right? And so when we think about that, we think about what the music is, what the vibe is, what the style of the music is, and what type of experience, right? With Hemlock, you're in a subway, it's kind of neon, it's dark, but he's punk, right? That's just the way that goes. With Aurora, you're in this kind of galactic, over-the-top, glitterly awesome experience. And then with the other idols, we kind of build it to that as well. We have another idol we've talked about, Dex, who's all about the music, right? And getting, the song perfect, correct? And his level is black and white. Why? Cool. Because he is black and white. That's his experience. Yeah. That's metal, that's hard rock, right? And so we really do try to bring out like the vibe and the feel of each idol. We want every idol to be like a real musician, right?
Do the musicians, or did they get any input on kind of the vibe of the idols, or was that kind of...
I mean, they should, if they're being designed basically as a simulacrum of the entire genre, spoken and expressed through the performance of the artist. If you're not doing that, then you're already failing. So this is looking and sounding more and more like it's trying to innovate on something that was done with things like No Straight Roads than everything else. Because NSR clearly loved the syncopation music side of the game. Because without understanding how to keep up with the beat, there is no playing the game well. It's the same thing with Crypt and Rift of the Necrodancer. You have to stay on beat in order to play the game well. If you lose the center of beat, then you are not playing the game well. Whereas those games are much more the kind of experience that you'd expect of them. You're looking more at Hi-Fi Rush for your nexus point in here. So the syncopation of staying on beat and being able to sync that with the gameplay is going to require you to really think about how the mentality of the artist is going to affect the music and how much leeway do you want to give them on the final product. If you want them to have this and put together a love child for you, that's more like a celebrity endorsement than it is your vision. If you are working with them and it's a back and forth, then you're communicating the parts of the genre that you want to come out and stand out by most, which means you're not really doing the genre, you're doing your take on the genre, which means I'm allowed to hate it, because then you're riffing on shit.
Kind of a collaboration?
So we have, and it depends on which idol for the amount of influence there, but absolutely, it's something that we've talked to. In fact, one of the idols that we're not talking about just yet, but is the fourth one that's we're going to talk about soon, had a lot of input from the person that is doing both the lyrics for the song and the voice for the character, which is really cool. But yeah, there's a lot of inspiration we take, and we make sure to talk with, what kind of things work for the musicians and feeding that into the idols because they are musicians.
Yeah, and I think we could tease that a little bit, right? The reason why we work with the musicians so much is that's hip-hop, right? And hip-hop is so based on the lyrics and the tempo and the way the artist performs that we have to build the song to the artist, right? We have...
No, you build the song to the culture and the subject matter. You don't have to build it to the artist. If the artist is necessary, you're putting the interpretation in the hands of the musician who's writing the music. If you ask me to write something, it is different than if you ask Jay to write something. if you ask the critical drinker to write something, it is like completely different than asking Hassan Piker to write something. All four people are going to tell you and give you and produce for you something that is concretely different from the others. Because you're trying to say you're speaking for the culture and for the genre versus your appeal to the genre.
Have to make that in order for it to be real, it has to be them, right? And so that's really important. But yeah, little teaser, more to come, right?
No, in order for it to be real, the emotion applied to the song must be real. This is like, it's basically what the Eve fight was about in NSR. The surreal nature of that music and the connection that she's supposed to have with Zook, the same way that the rap battle between him and his brother DK West was also important. For that story, for that game, for that way that it was written, that was the story that the game wanted to communicate. In your game, the way that you want it to be communicated has to be through the way in the process that you made it. If you make it shit, it's going to come out shit.
I love this. Love this. How many songs are we starting here with early access?
A lot. So the last time we did a count, somewhere around 30, maybe more actually. One of the things that's great about the game,
that's not a lot of songs,
is it's so easy to make music. Anything we can think about, anything we want, we can get in, right? And we can get it in quick, and we can see it, we can play it, and sometimes we just make variations. Like Maniac, for example, the first song we licensed.
Such a good song for this game.
For covers, yeah. But we have a punk rock version, we have an 8-bit version, we got the original version. So like,
version
yeah,
of
an
Maniac,
8-bit version of Maniac, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, 30.
So 30 songs with 4 variations, that's a lot more songs. And then, of course, add your own music, which is infinite numbers. Doesn't matter what kind of music you get in, people will add their own shit.
Songs and then 4 full story levels, and then obviously with my music, then people can
yeah,
forever and ever.
Not gonna lie, bored with the interview now. Heard everything I need to hear. Heard everything I need to hear. They don't have anything else to tell me that I don't want to that I can't discover on my own. So we've got a game that is trying to be character action. It wants to follow in the footsteps of No Straight Roads and Hi-Fi Rush, but it has to do so by respecting your intelligence and your time. For Valor Mortis, I don't know if I want to listen to the background design of that. For Ninja Dawn, don't know if I want to listen to the background side of that. I'm not interested in Star Seeker. Not interested in Barotrauma. So I suppose that is everything. We are 7 minutes away from gaming night to begin with, as I've been setting that up in the background. So, pretty decent spread of video games of different types. A very big forward-facing look on Friendslop. Some single players, some multi-man stuff, some good single players. And you're just going to have to accept that the way that the games are made, or the way that the games are made, and stay away from the audiences that these games are going to attract. They're going to get really retarded very fast over time. Really retarded, really fast. Really retarded, really fast. Like, people who want to get into Dead-As Disco, they are going to be annoying. Sequester yourself. Sequester yourself. My top expecteds are going to be... My top expected is probably going to be the Don't Starve title. However, the one I'm also eyeing is probably Neverway. Hoping it turns out okay. So, I'm going to cut it there. I will see you all in 5 minutes. I will warn you all, if I don't see a turnout for Friday night, I am going to end it early, and I am going to watch movies, because I have things that I would like to do. Okay? Okay. Wonderful. Glad we talked about that. Okay, bye!